Right, kids, I am going to go get a coffee. I asked a bunch of you a load of questions on Instagram yesterday around some of the things that you struggle with. We're going to get a coffee, we're going to park up, and we're going to answer a bunch of them. Just take a moment for this. Never gets boring. And then, yeah, so quick little coffee run. We're going to park up and we're going to answer some of your questions.
Who do you want me to be? 'Cause I'm too messy and then I'm too fucking clean. You and me, I know, and my vices are my own.
The coffee has been acquired. I know you're probably like, Kane, what coffee do I need to drink to become successful? Honestly, if coffee was the problem, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Never gets old. Just bumped into some of my family members in town. Apparently no one works. Anyway, let's get to a quiet spot. Start answering some of these questions from everybody. Anyway, to answer the question, latte. I'm a flat white kind of guy, but I've got London trading, New York trading in about an hour and 10. So we need to get a bunch of coffee in our system, and go from there. Okay, long story short, no safe space because it used to be a little parking spot that I used to go to then go on a walk. They've put up a height restriction barrier and my car doesn't fit now. Pricks. Anyway, let's load up some of the questions that we got asked on the story yesterday. There was quite a bunch, so I'm just going to filter through some. Okay, let's scroll all the way down, just so you know that I'm not lying. It's quite a few, right? Anyway, let's randomly pick one. This one. I struggle to grasp exactly what the market algorithm is. Oh, if I could get it completely. Look, I'm going to be really honest with you, right? It's not your job to really understand if there is or isn't a market algorithm or what that algorithm does or doesn't do. I think everyone dreams of understanding what the market is going to do all of the time. But the truth of the matter is, it's just not your job. Your job is to understand where the market is high probability and what model is high probability in those times. Take that, backtest that in a market, understand what is and isn't high probability, refine that over time, and as and when that model appears, click the button. The rest of it is completely out of your control. So yeah, I don't really have much more to say on that. I think the whole algorithm argument, like a single algorithm, I don't necessarily subscribe to the thought of a single algorithm. So, yeah. Next one. Not believing in myself, it almost seems impossible because I personally don't know anyone at H. It just says H. Okay, look. Not believing in yourself is probably one of the hardest things in this game because it's you versus you, right? So if you suddenly have that little bit of doubt in your head around what is and isn't possible, it's only going to have a negative impact on you, right? The only recommendation that I can really have for you is find some like-minded people, whether that's online or offline, inside of a community, a mentor, whatever that comes across. If you're really struggling with it, and build those relationships, right? And ask those questions and start to do those things. There's no real like sweet answer to just not believing in yourself. It normally comes from a place of insecurity, harsh but true, in like some capacity in your personal life. So I would probably say start there. It's not just trading related, those sorts of things. So you need to have the utmost confidence in your model, and you get that confidence from putting in the work, back testing, forward testing, and ultimately just time in the market, right? That's it. That's literally it. Refining my edge to increase my profit factor. Yeah, There's only one way to do that, and that's just by doing the work, right? Doing the back testing. Like I said, there's going to be a recurring theme here. Doing the back testing, doing the forward testing, understand what you could have done better on those losing trades. If those winning trades, what could be better? Personally, I don't really care about profit factor. All I care about is the model and how often it appears and how much that win rate is. The profit factor around that's kind of irrelevant for me. I don't really care for these 1 to 20, 1 to 30, 1 to 40 R trades. 1 to 1.5 to 1.25 is like pretty much my max. Okay, fine. Sometimes I hold like a 4 or 5 R trade, but normally it's because the volatility is so high. And yeah, so I would say more often than not, having smaller targets in a market like NQ is normally better because your job is to not grab the entire piece of the pie. Patience and just waiting for your A+ setup that will come sooner or later. Yeah, look, I think a lot of people talk about this all the time, but patience in the market is the number one thing that will kill you in the long run. If you don't have patience to sit out of a low probability market, that low probability market will cut you up. So when the high probability market is around, you'll have no money left. You quite literally will have no money left to trade with. So it will eat you up one way or another, right? Time frame alignment for the lab model, like 15 minute for standard deviation, 3 minute for entry, and hourly for premium discount. Is that valid? Seems pretty valid. Yeah, without going too much into it, seems pretty valid. Yeah, I don't really have much more to say on that. Being patient for the setup to come, although I'm working on it. Same sort of questions. The uncertainty of if will I even make this work. Look, I am of the believer that some people aren't cut out for it. I don't know too much about you specifically, but I will say this, right? I've been doing this 10 years, coming up 10 years now, and I have probably wanted to quit more times than anyone, right? There have been good days followed by bad days that make it, it's not even worth it anymore. I just can't fucking be asked. Trust me, if you didn't quit or you didn't fail, it wouldn't be worth it. And that's just the thing. Like, how bad do you want it? If you want it bad enough, it's there for the taking. If you don't want it bad enough, don't do it. No one's forcing you to do it. Go and work your way up the corporate ladder. And that's not me sitting here saying like dissing corporate ladders. Some people are just made to work a corporate life, and that's okay. I've got nothing against that. I worked corporate for 10 years of my life. 5 of those years, I was grinding to get out of that because I knew it wasn't for me, right? Trusting a swing is formed and not get swept out one more time. Don't really need to trust that, right? If a swing forms, you get that change state of delivery, that breaking structure, that market structure shift, whatever you want to call it, that should be the low. And if it's not the low. Your job is not to know for a fact that it's the low. It's to understand your edge says it's the low and it plays out. And if it doesn't come and it stops you out, that's okay. It's really normal to lose in this game. You know, it's not like, I have to win and win and win and win. You don't. You really just don't have to win all of the time. And if you win all the time, you'll go on a period where you lose all the time. Yeah? What's the most effective way to learn from your mistakes? How do you break the cycle? Yeah, this is a tough one, honestly, because there's no like golden answer like, gotcha, to like break the cycle. I think there just comes a point when you have to have enough. You're just like, I've had enough. I have to stick to my rules. I've lost too much money, or I've made too much money and then lost too much money, and I'm now back where I started. Like, there just has to come a point where you're like, enough's enough, I'm following the rules, and you get more strict and more disciplined with it. It's like, why do people go to the gym? They go to the gym because they can't run 5K, or they're overweight, or, you know, they don't like how they look with their top off, all those things. There comes a point where you're like, I've had enough, I'm going to the gym, and you build that discipline and consistency. I think everybody goes to the gym every day because they're super motivated to get in there and lift weights. No, discipline takes over sometimes, and you just haven't hit that point yet, bro. That is just the sad part of it, right? Trading psychology, this whole theme of this video. I'm up and I can't stop, and then I'm down. Now I'm about to lose everything. Firstly, sorry for that. Secondly, trading psychology is a myth. Sorry to be the one that busts your balls on that one, but psychology in general is just a thing, and it's not trading psychology or life psychology or romantic psychology or whatever. Psychology is just psychology, and if your psychology sucks in your real life, it most likely sucks in trading. And if it sucks in trading, it most likely sucks in your real life. So my advice to you is drop the whole trading psychology thing and go to my psychology sucks and I need to figure that out. Yeah. Greed. I'm doing great and then I'm getting greedy and I get smacked down hard. I don't really have much to say on that one, to be honest with you. Greed is just an emotion, and we're just repeating what we just said, right? Holding too long and stopping out break even. Shorten your targets. My model is very, very like short-term bias. Like it just wants to get in that move and get out. And once we get out, I don't really care what the market does after that because it's not my job. And sometimes it runs for 50R, sometimes it stops us break even and runs the opposite direction. Ultimately, my job is to capture a small piece of the market consistently every couple of days, day. And once I get that, I'm done. And if I don't get that and the setup doesn't present itself, I don't take it. Discipline. I have a model and rules, but I keep failing to temptation. Falling to temptation. Yeah, going back to the same thing. Eventually, discipline will kick in. And ultimately, there's no like, I can't sit here and tell you something that's suddenly going to make you super disciplined, right? If you're not disciplined, I don't have an answer for you as to why you suddenly should be disciplined. The truth of the matter is it will come or it won't. And if it doesn't, it will kill you. And if it does, it will kill you almost. And then you'll realize you need to start sorting your shit out. I think everyone goes through the same sort of journey. They're not very disciplined, and then they become very disciplined. All the good traders I know sucked at one point. We all did. We all sucked. We're not perfect. We don't suddenly just open TradingView and like, fuck, this is so easy. It was hard. It's always been hard. It always will be hard. But then it gets to a point where you start implementing rules that make it a lot easier. That's it. Right, last one. We'll answer the first one. Actually, no, we won't, because we already answered the first one. Oh, there was a good question I actually screenshotted. And we will end with this one, right? I'm starting late. I'm 26 years old, and I'm seeing the young ones succeeding. Okay, this is probably one of the hardest things, right? I get it. You are not old, though. 26 is quite young. And the internet is plagued with 21, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds that are millionaires. I think you also just have to remember that they are one in a couple of 100 million people, and you just happen to see them on the internet, right? What you don't see is the luck that it took to get there from a lot of these guys. Okay, so maybe there's one out there that's been grinding since he's 12. Maybe. But the reality is, if the money comes quickly, it goes quickly. Trust me, I know that better than anybody. I made a lot of money in crypto, and I lost a lot of money in crypto. Right? My advice to you is this, is that do not compare yourself to someone's year one when they're very successful. You are part of a majority of people that suck at it right now. Sorry, but that's the truth. You are. And a lot of people lose their way and quit, and a lot of people find their way, and that journey for everybody looks differently. It could take someone 6 years to get there. It could take someone 6 months to get there. Some people get it, some people don't. There's no like right or wrong, and everybody's on their different journey of life, right? Like Gary Vee said, he started his business at like 40 and became a billionaire by the time he was like 48, 49, whatever. Maybe not even a billionaire, I don't know, maybe I just made that up. But my point here is that just because you feel like you're starting late, doesn't mean you're late. Someone is always later than you, and someone's always earlier than you. I would give a fucking my left arm and my right leg to go back to being 15 again and do it all differently. I can't, and that's okay. But the reality is that you should just accept what is. It is what it is, and you can't change it. And the only thing you can do is evolve, right? Anyway, guys, we'll be doing more of these, and we'll, answer some psychology stuff as and when. And I'll try and get some more videos out as and when I can. They should be more frequent, but the psychology ones are going to be few and far between. I don't like to answer psychology questions a lot, or consistently. I like to just get them all out and then have like a bit of a psychology one-on-one with me and the camera and really just go through it, because I can get into a rabbit hole of speaking about it all the time. But as always, stay safe, trade well. The market's always right, you're always wrong. Try and stay on the right side of it. Peace.